Hello everyone and welcome to today's live. So welcome back if you are a returner, and if you're new here, please do come in and say hello. So I'm live streaming today to multiple channels across my network, and wherever you are, please do drop a hello in the comments. So my name's Anita Wong and I am here to talk to you about the 7 live streaming ideas to get you started. So before we jump into those, just want to take a couple of moments to say hello and to let you know who I am. So as you know, my name's Anita and I am a live streamer and also a tech enabler. So I help entrepreneurs to understand who are untechy to become tech savvy. So Tracy said hello. So hi Tracy, it's great for you to be here. Now I do have a little link for you to click, and what that will do is it will enable me to see your name if you're in one of my groups. So let me just go and grab that, and then I will start off with the 7 tips. So I've written them down for you, but I want to get this link, so just bear with me and I will get it up and hopefully I'll be able to send it to you. Here it is. So if you click on this link wherever you are, if you're in one of my Facebook groups, then you will be able to I'll be able to see your name. So let me get your group, let me get the group up now, and I'm going to pop it into the group under the comments as well. So just bear with me while I do that. So whilst I'm waiting for you to join me, there, I'm going to put it in the comments on my personal one, and I'm also going to put it on the comments in my group. So if you click that, then when you make a comment, I can actually see your name, which is awesome. And then I can actually bring you up, and I can actually you up and put your comment or your question up on the screen with me. So that's super awesome. So if you give that a click, it will enable you to give Restream and Facebook authority for me to see your details. So if you're joining me anywhere else other than my Facebook group, I'll be able to see your name come up. So don't be shy, do say hello. And I know that actually so many of you want to be visible on video, but the tech really stands in the way. And not only the tech, but the ideas. What am I going to talk about? How am I going to sit up on the screen and do a live video? How do I know what's going to happen when I press the button? How do I know what's going to happen if someone makes a comment? All these things are probably going through your head. So I'm hoping that these 7 live streaming ideas to get you started will help to alleviate some of those problems for you, so that you can actually start to become more confident online. So I've got a hi from Sydney, Australia. What's your broadcast about, please? Okay, so M is on Twitter. My broadcast is about how to actually 7 live streaming ideas. So I'm going to give you 7 ideas. So we're going to start off with the first one. So the first idea to get you started live streaming is, why not do a video on why you do what you do? So this is a great opener for you as an entrepreneur to actually go out on video and actually tell people what you do and why you do it, because that's a really good way of them getting to know you. Yes, M says, oh, I see, thanks. So yeah, do stay tuned and do feel free to pop the questions underneath the video, and I can see them. As you can see, I can see them, so that I can show you that I have your chat. I could actually even put the chat next to me, which would be really cool. Then you guys could see the chat. Look, there you go. If I pop it up there, you can actually see the comments coming through. So they'll start to show through on the screen once it picks up the comments going through. So we can have that on there as well later. So let's talk about why you do what you do and how that could make a really good video for you. So for instance, you spend a lot of time putting your heart and soul into creating graphics for your social media. You might be creating really long descriptions, but you're not really connecting with your audience because they don't actually know why you do what you do. So for instance, if I was to tell you why I do what I do, would you believe that even though I'm a live streaming expert and I help women who are unsavvy at tech become savvy at tech, I used to actually be an ICU nurse. So before I had my children, I've got 4 teenage girls. Before I had my kids, I used to be an ICU nurse. And one of the things that I look back on my nursing career is that I used to like and thrive on an environment that was very technical. So when I think about an ICU nurse, that's what I used to be. I used to have one patient who was on a ventilator, so like on a breathing machine, on lots of drugs, lots of things that they'd need for their support. And I would be in my element because I'd have to work out how everything worked and make sure that everything flowed together that would work really, really well. So that's why when you explain to people what you do and why you do it, it really helps them to make that connection. So why would being in an ICU make me want to be a live streaming coach? Well, I didn't really work out to do it that way. What happened was that I have a really unique way of explaining how tech works and making it easy for other people to understand. And because I am very visual and I like to explain how I do things, I started to move into the video world. So although I'm giving you these ideas for live streams, of course you can use these ideas for general videos as well. So if you're not feeling 100% confident about doing a live, then pre-record the video. And you could pre-record the video on your why you do what you do using a software such as Zoom, for instance, or even like the software that I'm using at the moment, Restream. You can turn off the destinations and actually have the ability to record your messages in here as well. So that's something that's really, really cool. So that's the first one. So the first idea for you is to really touch base with your audience by telling them why you do what you do. Okay, super. So if you have any questions, do drop them down in the comments and I will get back to them at the end. Em's just like saying that she's someone following me all over the place. So that's great. Thank you so much for following me. Here you go. Let's see. This is on Twitter. So this is the power of live streaming. You see, I see your profile details, gives a concise snapshot of what you are about. And guess what she's doing now? She's following me. How cool is that? So he or she is following me over on Twitter, which is absolutely awesome. So thank you so much for doing that. So let's move on to number 2. How about doing an open Q&A? Now, I know you're probably thinking to yourself, so I'm going to start live streaming. Anita's telling me to go on to live video and do an open Q&A. So how am I going to do that if nobody's watching me? So what you do is you prepare the questions beforehand that you're always being asked by your audience. So perhaps you've got a Facebook group where you offer support, or you've got an email list, or you've got a WhatsApp group. You've got somewhere where you have a collection of your clients or your audience. You know, maybe you ask a question on Instagram and people ask you questions back. Or like me, on my YouTube channel, people will ask me questions on my videos that I might not have addressed in a video about something else. Because when you do your videos, sometimes that makes people ask more questions. So what you can do is you can come prepared with some questions. So when you start out, you go to yourself, okay, so here we are, we're going to talk about questions. So here's 3 questions on what's stopping you from doing a live stream. And I can come up with 3 questions that I could ask my audience and give the answers to. Yeah, that's fine. Em just said to me, maybe tell people that Periscope is moving. Yes, that's something that I will tell them in a minute. So ask a question. So Q&A, come prepared with, say, 3 or 4 questions. And first of all, come onto the live, introduce yourself, talk about what you're going to be talking about. So I'm going to be talking about some frequently asked questions that my audience often ask me, and I've got the questions prepared. However, I would love for my audience to ask me a question. And as I'm doing live streaming ideas, I'm opening out the offer. Please ask me a question about live streaming. What don't you like about doing live streaming? Tell me what it is that you don't like. Ask me a question, any question whatsoever about live streaming. So Em just said to me, she's asked me a question. She's actually given me the answer to a question. So Em just said to me, here, I'll pop it up on the screen so you can see. Let's get it down here. Here we go. So she's given me the answer. So the question is, in December 2020, Twitter announced across the world that they were going to stop their collaboration with Periscope. So Periscope is the live streaming tool that Twitter have been joined together with to enable their users to live stream. Now, from March the 31st, 2021, they are planning to use a different live streaming tool. I don't know what that is yet, but for those of you who are planning to live stream to Twitter, at the moment, you have to use the inbuilt Twitter app Or if you're using a third-party tool like the one I'm using at the moment, which is Restream, you would connect your Restream channel to Twitter via Periscope. So answering the question, come the 31st of March 2021, now I'm actually live streaming this on the 3rd of February, but come 31st of March 2021, Twitter is going to be using a different source to live stream. Now, I suppose I could do a little bit of research on that and we'll find out who they're going to be using. But until then, you can carry on using your live streaming into Twitter using Periscope, which is what I'm using now via my Restream account. Okay, super. So just a quick reminder, the first option is why you do what you do as a live streaming idea, and the second option is to come prepared for an open Q&A, but come prepared with some questions so that you can actually do the Q&A. The third idea for your live stream is talk about some top tips on a subject. So you are the absolute amazing resource of the subject that you serve. So whether you're offering a service, or you create a product, or you sell a product, or you are an influencer for a product, you are that absolutely amazing resource of information. So why don't you share those top tips with your audience? So you could do what's known as a listicle video. So a listicle video is where you have like, okay, so today I'm going to share with you 7 video ideas for live streaming. So I'm actually doing a top tips listicle video today where I'm actually sharing 7 ideas. So hi, somebody in my Facebook group said hi, click that link that's underneath the video so that I can see your name. Or when you say hi, pop your name next to you. When you say, hi Anita, it's da da da. Then I can reply and bring you up on the screen and we can have a conversation. So top tips on a subject. Top tips on anything. You could do 3 top tips, you could do 5 top tips, you could do 7 top tips, you could do 10 top tips. Think about what you're going to do and think about like what type of tips that you want to use. So Jason's just said to me, I struggle with content preparation, scripting and the outline, making time to get ready. I know the subject I want to talk about, but it's hard to organize my thoughts and notes. Yeah, exactly. So if we're talking about the top tips on your subject, you do know your stuff, okay? You absolutely do. All you need to do is start off small. So say, okay, I'm going to offer 3 top tips today. And you need to write them down if you need to have that map. So I've actually got my iPad here next to me, and it's sitting next to me on my table. So my microphone's here, my laptop's here, I've got my camera, I've got my lights over here, and I've got underneath this, I have my list of top tips. So what I did to help me keep on track today was in the preparation for the live stream, I went into Restream and I wrote in the captions the order. So I have all 7 of my live video ideas written down as a caption that I can put onto the screen. And as you can see, I'm actually just going down the list as we go along. So if you want to start learning how to use live streaming like I am, then I will pop a link to my Restream link underneath. And I do have a fabulous 25% off for my community. So I will pop that in a moment and you'll be able to grab that. I will put that in the description. Or you can go to my YouTube channel. Underneath this video in the description, there's already a link there to Restream. And if you drop me a DM, I will give you the code that gets you the extra discount. So, so Jason, going on to the struggle. Write notes, script it out on bullet points. Bullet points are really good. If you use a live streaming tool such as Restream, you can go into the captions and write them in there, so that keeps you on track. Another thing about getting ready is to promote your video beforehand. So what I usually do is I schedule my video at least 24 hours beforehand. So between 24 hours and 12 hours before I'm going to go live, sometimes earlier. In fact, I'm trying to get into the habit of scheduling at 48 hours earlier. I will schedule and then I will take the link from one of the scheduled areas, which primarily for me is actually on YouTube, and I will share that link with my network in the email. So I'll send that out in the morning and say, hey, I'm going to be live at 2:30 this afternoon. Come and join me. And I'll also share that in my groups and my pages and everything else. So let me just pop your question up so that people can see what we're talking about. So There we go. So a few tips on preparing if you're going to do like a listicle video or a top tips video. Write down the tips. Don't be afraid to have a piece of paper with you, okay? We're live. It's not pre-recorded where we can go and edit it afterwards. This is live TV, live streaming. And you've got to be yourself. And I think what some people don't realise is that when you're live, you can pause. You can not say anything for a couple of seconds while you think about what it is that you want to say. Don't feel that you have to keep going all the time. You don't have to keep going all the time. Write some notes. Use a live streaming software where you can actually pop your main points that you want to talk about into the caption so that you can share it with your audience. That way, it means that you can actually keep on track and everyone knows what you're doing. Another thing to do is when you're live, I would say that would be the best thing, is to have a notebook with you ready or have it on your screen so that every time you go past one point, you can bring the next point on. Okay, so that's awesome. Martin just said to me, listicle videos, wow, I've done many, but never heard that name for a video. Yes, listicle videos are fantastic. They are super, super easy to create, especially on a live, because you can keep track of what you want to talk about. And, you know, listicle videos are really good for live streams, and they're also really good for videos that you can prepare before you go live or instead of going live. So if you don't want to go live, you're not quite confident enough to go live just yet, then pre-record it. It's not a problem. And what you can do in some of the software, say like Restream, for instance, you can actually put a live video in a pre-recorded video into Restream and play it as if it's live. You can also do that on YouTube. You can also do that on Facebook. So there's all sorts of things that you can do with it, which is great. Emma's going to pop off because she said it's 1:45 in the morning where she is. She's in Sydney. So thank you for joining me from Sydney. I am an Australian born. I was born in Whyalla, which is not far from Sydney, down the bottom on the south coast, which is great. I haven't been back for such a long time. But anyway, okay. So another quick question from Jason. I want to set myself apart from the other video makers in my field by including graphics, animations, etc. But it is difficult. It is, but again, it goes down to the software that you're using. So if we're talking about pre-recorded video, then I use wave.video. So wave.video is an absolutely awesome, mind-blowing video creator. And you can add your video in. So you can pre-record a video, upload it. You can add animations to it. You can add emojis. You can add text. You can add transitions. You can add all sorts of things into your video. If you want to use animations or overlays in a live stream, you can use Restream. So for instance, if I grab a graphic here and I wanted to put a border around me, I can put a border around. You see, I've got that yellow, that orangey border around me. I can actually have something in the corner, like Restream's got their logo there. I could have my logo up the top right-hand corner. You can have video playing. So I could actually have a video playing. So I could put this one on, which is a countdown. I can also do backgrounds. So for instance, if I wanted to bring something up on my screen with me, so say like if I wanted to share my Instagram account, or there was two of me here. So say like if I wanted to share my screen. So let me grab my Facebook account, Chrome tab. Let me grab that. And I share that up with me. So now what's happened is that there's two windows open. And as you can see, I've got this nice background behind, and I change that background depending on what I want to do with it. So I could do this, and I could put a different background on. I could put little balloons, and I can actually make myself move around the screen, and I can swap myself over. Can swap them around like this. So you can really jazz up your live stream. And the thing that I'm learning, because we're all still learning about doing this stuff, is the thing that I'm learning the most about live streaming is not to rush it. I know that sounds a bit weird, but it's like, why, you know, don't rush it. Wait for people to come on. Wait for people to talk to you. Wait for people to get in touch with you. Even take a picture of what you're doing, so that you've got something to show people afterwards. Like I could do a little selfie. Hey, say hi. I've got a very small phone at the moment because I dropped mine. So let's move on to the next point. So great questions there, Jason. Great comments from you as well. Someone's ringing me. Oh, I can't answer the phone now. Hang on, I've just got to stop that. So another thing to do when you're live is to perhaps put your phone on Do Not Disturb. Anyway, I can get back to that in a minute. So great questions there, and great question from Martin as well about not thinking about the listicle. So let's get back to number 4. So we just did top tips and making them into a listicle video. So let's do a showcase a new product, and I'm going to say a new product or service. So how do you showcase a new product or service when you're on a live stream? You just bring it up with you. You just bring it to you and you showcase it. So let's have a look. Let me show you something that I've just got hold of. So I'm going to showcase my Stream Deck. So this is my new toy, my newest toy. This is called a Stream Deck. And what the Stream Deck does is you connect it to your computer, and then it allows you to control lots of different things that are happening whilst you're live. So what I could do if I owned a Stream Deck is I could talk about how this works. I could actually plug it in and share a screen of it, like put a camera under an op so that everyone could see it. And I could like show that off. That's like a product. Now for a service, say, if I wanted to showcase a service on my live screen, I could say like showcase my social media visibility club, which is a monthly membership all around live streaming and videos. So I can actually take you inside of that and show you a screen share of the learning zone where all the background courses are that you can work through on your own. And I can also take you inside maybe one of the live calls that I have where we have all sorts of people having a Q&A. So that's the sort of thing that you can do when you showcase a new product or service. So you actually show off to people what it is that you're doing. Okay, brilliant. The next one is actually a behind the scenes. So this is a really good one. So behind the scenes is a really good way of you bringing people into your live video, because when you do a behind the scenes, it's really, really awesome because people love to see what it is that you're doing. They love to see how you're working and, you know, like, how does it all work behind the scenes? Or how did you make that product? You know, what do you do to make that product in your business? You know, do you create shelving? Do you have a studio to do it in? What preparation do you do when you are getting ready for, say, like a yoga studio and things like that? So there's all those sorts of things that you can bring into your behind the scenes. You could do a behind the scenes where you are at a networking meeting. So when we start to become one-to-one again or one-to-many and we start going out, you could actually do a behind the scenes and networking. So many different things. And you don't always have to do your live stream sitting in your home studio. You can grab your phone and you can live stream on the go. So you could actually do your live streams elsewhere as well. So that's another thing that you could do for your live stream. Okay, this is a good one. And I think everybody who's watching me, who's a business owner or a creator or a product creator or anything can do this. 3 areas that your clients struggle with and the solutions. So this is a really good option for you, because what does your client struggle with? Now, don't say to yourself, well, I create a product, so why would I have people struggling? Why do people buy your product? Because they want to do something with it. They're struggling with it. It's like me. I bought a Vitamix because I've had a Vitamix for a long, long time. And then I started doing a smoothie every morning as part of a colleague's 30 Days to Fabulous. And Alex said to me, oh, you can have a smoothie in the morning. And it's absolutely fantastic. So I went out and renewed my Vitamix. And the problem I was having was that I wasn't able to mix my smoothies up to a smooth consistency. And I like my smoothies with ice in. So I like mine to be like quite frozen. And I couldn't get that consistency with a standard mixer. So I had to treat myself to a Vitamix. So I waited a little while, checked out all the sales, checked out all the different places I could buy it, etc., etc. And so that's a product. So I am the consumer, and I was struggling to get a smoothie maker that was going to create my smoothies smooth enough. Hang on a second. So Martin's just given me a little ace, so I'm going to bring that up. I love the ooh, Martin. That is so good. Yes, your clients are always struggling. Everybody's clients are struggling because they wouldn't need your help if they weren't struggling. And what I think we forget to do is we forget to take notes of what our clients are struggling with. And I think what happens with that is because we don't take notes, we presume that not everybody is struggling with the same things that we're struggling with. But that's not right. Okay, so last week I hosted, well, I didn't host actually. Last week I was behind the scenes running a virtual summit called Miss Popular versus Miss Profitable. And I was also talking there, but we got Restream kindly sponsored the event. And what happened was that then we had a lot of speakers who were struggling to get online to do their live because, number one, they hadn't used the live streaming tool before. Number two, they were quite anxious about doing their talk anyway. You know, when you're doing a presentation to thousands of people, you get a little bit worked up, you know, you just do. So not understanding how to use the tool, actually preparing themselves to get ready, and actually being in front of people, everyone was struggling with it. So all of those struggles made me realise that, you know, a lot of people have a lot of struggles with the tech related to live streaming, whether it's an easy live stream, you know, every live streaming tool, once you know how to use it, it's easy to use. But that initial, oh, I'm not going to do a live stream. I don't know what's going to happen when I press that button, or how do I actually control what people are doing? You know, how can I see the comments? You know, all those things can stop somebody doing. So that's the struggle. Okay, so let's go back to putting that up here. So giving a talk about the 3 areas my clients struggle with and the solutions. So I'm not telling you to tell them the complete answer, because what you want to do is you want to give them snippets of the solution. So, and also include a call to action. So if somebody's struggling with the struggles that you highlight, you give them part way to the solution, like the steps that they can follow. And then you do a call to action like, hey, why don't you book a call with me? You know, book a 15-minute discovery call with me, and we can have a discussion about how we might be able to work together to help you with that struggle. That's how you do it, okay? And the final idea for your live stream, and I will run through all of these again, and I will address your questions, is to bring on a guest. So if you really aren't 100% sure about doing the live stream on your own, why not bring on a guest? So bring on a guest to your live stream where they can actually come in, and there's 2 of you next to each other. So like I had my screen share, I would have 2 people next to each other. So I could bring myself on, you could bring your guest on, and your guest would be on with you, and your guest would be on the screen the same as you would be. So basically, if I was to share my screen again, and if I bring that up and I share my screen again, your guest would be like this. So you would be side by side like this. So there's me live streaming, and pretend that's me as a guest. And you would bring your guest on, and you could feed off of each other whilst you're doing the live. So you could come with some prepared questions, or you could interview your guest, or your guest could be a client that you've worked with and they're happy to give you a testimonial. Any of those things you could do with a guest. And using a tool like Restream, for instance, you can have your guests next to each other like this. You could have your guest there. You could showcase your guest. So if the guest was talking and you wanted to sit in the corner, you could sit in the corner, or you could sit underneath, or you could sit to the side. There's all sorts of different ways that you could bring a guest on. Now, obviously, you've got to imagine that screen share is somebody else, but it's super, super easy to bring a guest on. And what bringing a guest on does for you as a live streamer or as somebody creating a video is it helps you, because you get to stop talking for a little while and you get 2 people's opinions. So it's like, you know, it's like 2 heads are better than one. You get 2 different angles of opinions. You get 2 different voices. You get one person asking a question, the other person will join in, and vice versa. And that's the beauty of having a guest. So let's just run through all of the 7 ideas that you can use. And I do have a list of 21 live streaming ideas. If you want to have a copy of that, then please pop your hand up in the comments below. Say, yes, I want one, and put your name next to it for me. And what I'll do is I'll reach out to you on Messenger or direct message or on YouTube. I will reach out to you. So if you are on YouTube and you want it, just pop your hand up, and I will, if you can email me at anita@anitawong.co.uk, or you can jump into Facebook or Messenger, just find me. You could just Google me. You can go to my website and hook up with me there, and you can actually grab hold of that copy. If you're anywhere else, you can just try it. So let's just run through the 7 live streaming ideas to get you started. Number 1, do a live stream on why you do what you do. This will really help you to connect with your audience. Number 2, do an open Q&A. I'm laughing because I have my little dog down here and she's snoring at the moment. I can hear her snoring. Can you hear her snoring? Bless her, she's fast asleep. So, number 1, why you do what you do. So you learned a little bit more about me then when I told you I used to be an ICU nurse, but a lot of you didn't know that. So number 2, open a Q&A. Number 3, share some top tips on a subject. So this could be a listicle video. It could be 3 top tips to going live on video. It could be 3 top tips to adding animation. It could be 3 top tips to changing the background of your Canva image, anything that you can think of. Number 4 is showcase a product or a service. So that's a product or a service. Number 5 is do a behind the scenes. So if you're at networking or you're like, I could grab my camera and I could pop it over here. I could put it on like a tripod sort of here, or I could put it next to like behind me here, and it could capture me doing this live stream with you guys. And that'd be like behind the scenes with Anita while she's live streaming on a Wednesday afternoon. How cool would that be? Maybe I'll do that next week. I'll do a behind the scenes. Then number 6 is 3 areas your clients struggle with, and tease the solutions and add a call to action to get them to connect with you afterwards. So anyone that's asking you questions about the struggles that you highlight, because what you'll do is when you highlight your client's struggles, it will connect with people who are watching your live. And don't forget that a lot of people will watch the replay. So if you're watching the replay of this particular video and you want to get your hands on 21 live streaming ideas, then I want you to raise your hand in the comments and put replay. I'd love the 21 ideas, and reach out to me to get your hands on them. And the final one is to bring on a guest. So I am going to be starting interviewing people on my live show every Wednesday going forward into 2021. I'm just creating a form that you would have to fill in so that I have some questions to ask you. And I would love for all of you, if you want to, come and join me on here. And I want you to come on and talk to me about how you are using social media to attract your ideal audience. So that's like the idea, is like, if you come on, I want to ask you how you're using your social media. What's your favorite platform? Have you started to live stream? If you haven't started to live stream, why are you not live streaming? Have you started to create video? If not, why not? And we'll talk about, we'll just have a general chin wag, and we'll give some advice and some value to the audience that's going to join us. So if you're up for that as well, pop it in the comments, say, yes, I would love to be on your show. And I will make sure that after this, when I get my act together, I will get that form out to you, which won't take very long. Brilliant. So that's the 7 ideas. I hope you've had a great time on this live show. I've had an absolutely amazing time sharing these 7 ideas with you. Don't forget that if you are following me, or you're watching this and you're not following me, please do hit that follow, subscribe, like button. And if you would like to have any help with getting on live streaming, or you're an un-tech savvy entrepreneur who wants to become tech savvy so that you just move away all those boulders that are stopping you from building a rock solid social media strategy, then do feel free to reach out to me, and I will be happy to have a discovery call with you on Zoom where we can discuss how I can help you to banish all of those tech woes and get you on video and get you live streaming and get your social media strategy up and running. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. It's been an absolutely amazing live. I've taken my time, I have not rushed it, and I have thoroughly enjoyed it. So I hope you have thoroughly enjoyed it as well. So I'm going to go now before my voice stops, and I will catch you all soon. Bye for now.